It told me to smile for a thumbnail. Anyway, what's going on, guys? Monday, November 6th. You know, what is this day off? What is this day off I was talking about? You know, too much going on, and we got a world to save. So I'm gonna keep doing my part. You know, these videos seem to be helping you guys. You guys seem to like them. And I know I'm doing good work because YouTube is demonetizing every single video I do now. Anyway, into today's news stories. What's going on? Let's first talk about Trump reading 4chan. This is a very big possibility, and this little nugget comes by way of the Victory of the Light Twitter. Great Twitter account. Go follow him, I would suggest. But anyway, what this basically is that, you know, our homeboy Q, our 4chan poster that has been posting the past few days all this seemingly insider information that we've been trying to corroborate and see if he's actually telling the truth or not. Well, he posted something today, this afternoon, and he did his typical supposition questions, you know, question this, question, as he's typically been doing in his long drawn-out posts. But at the end of this one, he signed it off with 3 pluses, plus. And he posted this at 5:07 p.m. And here's the thing. 7 minutes later, at 5:15 p.m., Donald Trump took to Twitter, and in this post he said, "My visit to Japan will yield many benefits for our great country." Then he said, "Massive military and energy orders happening, plus, exclamation point." And I'm going to leave it at that. You know, you guys can speculate to your heart's content there, but I'm just saying, interesting coincidence. And there's been many interesting coincidences that definitely lead a lot of people to believe that our homeboy Q is not LARPing. He's not trolling us or lying to us, basically. He's got a lot of good insider information that he's putting out there. So anyway, interesting. Anyway, let's talk about another dead Saudi. So, of course, 2 days ago, we had all the people that were arrested, you know, the officials and multiple princes. Yesterday, we had the helicopter crash with another prince, and more officials die. You know, I speculated as to that maybe being a special operations by American military move. Could have been, you know, something else. But today, we had a second Saudi prince confirmed killed during a crackdown. He was killed in a firefight. Some Saudi Arabian policemen were trying to basically capture him, and he died in the firefight. So we have another Saudi prince go down. And we also have Saudi Arabia about to confiscate over $30 billion from all of these people that they're arresting, from a lot of rich people. So, you know, that oil money, they're not going to be able to buy out U.S. politics too much longer. So lots of stuff still going down in the Middle East, quite obviously. And while that's occurring, this is also, I keep saying interesting. It's all interesting, right? All 7 U.S. carriers are underway at the very same time, and this hasn't happened for quite a while, which leads me to believe that my speculation as to, you know, some of these deaths and things going on are special operations military engagements could very well be, right? And not only is this occurring, but we had 60 admirals. We had a lot of Navy officials today. It was reported that they are being investigated in a scandal that's called the Fat Leonard scandal. Basically, just corruption, things like that, bribes and whatnot. But, you know, this whole storm that's going on, this whole purge, it's worldwide. And it's not only political, it's military, governmental, and yes, it is happening. And here's a case in point though, right? You know, today came and went, and John Podesta wasn't in custody or publicly indicted like we were hoping to believe, but understand, right? I'm almost more excited that shit's going down in Saudi Arabia than in America here right now, because these are the guys who are funding the Clinton Foundation. John Podesta and Tony Podesta were on their payroll, and Tony Podesta didn't even register as a foreign agent. And I believe one of the princes that was arrested basically owns the whole block that Comet Ping Pong is on in Washington, D.C. So you can see how tightly woven that web is. So what we have to do is unravel that web from the core, right? We have to that's where we have to start. And that's exactly what's happening. So I just want to make that point. And it's only a matter of time, you know, weeks if not days, until that starts publicly manifesting over here. So don't get disheartened that things aren't blowing up over here quite yet. It's actually kind of a good thing. I'll talk about that in a little bit, why certain things need to happen more over here before we see any kind of mass arrests in America. Anyway, next we had a massive internet and communication outage today by Comcast, Spectrum, and Level 3 Communications. Very odd. It happened quite a bit. I mean, a lot of outage around the country, and happened for a prolonged period. So it's just very, very weird, right? Very weird. And then this point I just want to make note of, a lot of MK Ultra Patsies are being activated right now, and this is just pretty obvious with the false flag shooting in Texas that killed 26 people, with the other shooting that happened in Fresno that I mentioned last night. We had the dude today who was arrested near the White House after his threat against white police there, and he even checked in on Facebook at the White House like, oh, I'm gonna go kill some white police. You know, who knows what all this MK Ultra stuff does to their brains, but it's the last stand. It's the final battle of the cabal, so they're doing everything they can to distract, divide, and avoid their defeat. So they're activating a lot of their mind control people to do all the crazy shit that's going on. So be safe out there, guys. Definitely be safe. And you know, honestly, during these times, I'm shying away from any large crowds or anything like that. So, until this storm blows over. And next point, Donna Brazile, dedicated her book to Seth Rich. And also, another case in point, her story is getting circulated pretty well around the media. And that was a point that Q, the 4chan poster, made, is that somebody cut a deal. And that somebody in the Democratic National Committee, or in the Democrat circle who cut a deal, looks like was Donna Brazile, because she's outing the Clintons like no other. She's outing the DNC. She's talking all about Seth Rich, how it was on her conscience that he died, and she had a portion of her book dedicated to him, or basically said that her book was in part dedicated to him. So crazy, right? But this is great, because what's this doing? And this is the point that I wanted to get to. Donna Brazile cutting the deal and talking is prepping people's minds, okay? Because if these mass arrests were to occur in America right now, a good portion of the population whose brains are still sucked into corporate media and just don't get it, they would think it's all fake. They would think, oh my gosh, the Trump administration and whatever's going on, they're making all this shit up and they're arresting Hillary Clinton on all these false charges because they're fascists and all that, right? So what we have to do is prep people's minds first. Understand, this fight for freedom we have is a mental one. So we've got to prep people's brains, get them to realize that these conspiracy theories aren't theories, and they're big fucking conspiracies at the literal definition of it. And also, with that being said, not only do we have to prep people's minds, you know, she's doing that, but it's happening in Hollywood. Hollywood is unraveling, and they're not going to be able to bend to the will of their corporate masters, I can say. They're corporate, I don't want to say Democrat masters, because this is obviously multifaceted. It's not limited to Democrats or Republicans. Remember, Ashton Kutcher was testifying in front of Congress against human trafficking, but who was he testifying for? John McCain and the Thorn Organization. So all of this human trafficking pedogate stuff, it's bipartisan, And what the Hollywood unraveling is doing is, like the point I made up here, it's not going to allow people to deny it and call it fake news and think it's not real. And while that's going on, while people's consciousnesses are literally being prepped, the whole uranium-1 deal is taking down the deep state. And this is crucial because I also made this point in a video I think a couple days ago, in that to take these guys down, the deep state, we're going to have to start with something that's not the deep child sex trafficking, pedogate stuff that they're into. Because again, a lot of people wouldn't believe it. It's difficult because of the unacknowledged nature of it and the way people keep getting suicided and lack of paper trail. Uranium-1 offers the paper trail, offers something people can begin to believe, and it takes this whole Russia narrative and gives the deep state a taste of their own medicine with that. So we can begin to indict Podesta and Clinton and even McCain. I saw something on John McCain where he was implicated in these uranium-1 deals. So we can begin to take down the deep state with this right now. And then once they're indicted and in jail, all this other bad stuff can begin to come out once everybody is realizing, like, oh my gosh, these people are evil, they're into all this stuff, and then they'll start to believe all the deeper revelations. So there's that point. But of course, we want them in jail as soon as possible, and we want all this stuff to get out as soon as possible. Somebody just said it's deeper than we all thought. Absolutely. And that's the next point I want to get to, the last point I'm going to make here, that I keep making in each video, and I might sound like a broken record with some points in these videos, but I know a lot of people, I've got a lot of new viewers, new subscribers, you know, everybody's on a different layer of their awakening path, and they have different information they've been looking at or they've been exposed to. Well, one thing that I've been heavily involved in and been researching is the secret space program extraterrestrial UFO issue. And this ties into everything. Again, everything is connected, especially, and I've said this before, pedogate and the secret space program. Very connected because, well, the same people are involved to some degree in both of them. You know, John Podesta is. I'll see if I can make, you know, I'll do some editing afterwards. I'll see if I can make one of those little blippies pop up like over here, maybe over here. And I actually did a video on John Podesta and Hillary Clinton and how they are directly involved in the UFO phenomenon, okay? Well, John Podesta has been handling, or managing, we could say, this whole Tom DeLonge initiative that's coming out. So, with Tom DeLonge, what he's basically doing is, in this whole partial disclosure agenda, I'm going to take a couple minutes to discuss this, you know, so many people are unaware of black projects, of the fact that we've had, you know, sciences and technologies delving into free energy and anti-gravity propulsion on this planet since the 1940s, if not sooner, even the 30s. You know, the Germans were the first one to access it. Long story, won't get into that, but it's real. There's black projects and secret programs that have been built out, spacecraft that have been designed. Look into William Tompkins' testimony if you're not familiar with him. You know, there are programs that are deep into space, even a breakaway civilization. I mean, $20 trillion plus have been swiped through just the Pentagon from the American public. What do you think they built with that? Not only in space, but underground, okay? And also understand, this whole pedogate, human trafficking thing, it's very tied into the extraterrestrial issue because a lot of these people that get taken go off planet. So that's just some points I want to make. And what they can do with this whole UFO secret space program disclosure issue is basically pull a false flag with it. And they can do that in multiple different ways. Either they use their blue beam technology to project some type of hologram into the atmosphere and get people all freaked out, or whether they try to manage somebody like DeLonge, whether DeLonge is, you know, whether his intentions are really good and he just doesn't know he's being used, whether he is complicit in it, you know, I don't know, but I do know that he is involved with Podesta via the WikiLeaks emails. We do know that the truths that he's telling us are half-truths, if not 10%, 5% truths, right? What I just mentioned earlier, you know, free energy being around for decades, craft being built. I mean, this goes deep, and they've solved the questions of our cosmos, right? They've solved how to get off planet and how to dematerialize craft, rematerialize craft, even delve into timelines and being able to remote view the future. Look into the Montauk Project and their, the CIA's experiments with human consciousness. So there's so many layers to this, and it's multifaceted, and it's not just pedogate, it's everything. So that's mainly the point I wanted to make in here. I'm not going to rant too much. It's late at night. So, and I know a lot of people are probably going to watch this in the morning as they're getting ready for work or something, so can't make it too long. I kind of like doing these videos at night, though. But anyway, that's really that for this one, you guys. Thank you, everybody who's been supporting me with this, I do have a newsletter that I'm going to start doing through my website. If you want to sign up for that, go for it. Links for all this stuff will be down below. Got a good Facebook group, Destroying the Illusion Facebook group I made. It's fun. We have a lot of good conversations, and I post a lot of ridiculous memes in that, so if you want to laugh, go join it. Patreon and PayPal, again, thank you all. And then webinars coming up, and ones that you can already grab. So that's it for Monday. I'll probably be back on Tuesday, so have a great night, you guys. Peace.